Nile Cruise on Nile TV, and from this very special place on a very special occasion, we bring you a very special topic, which is the distinctive unity between Egyptian Muslims and Copts. And the heritage behind it is worthy of study as a model to be emulated. The Copts of Egypt are as Egyptian as the pyramids and the Nile. The word Copt is connected to the word Egyptos, meaning black soul, which was abbreviated in Latin to Egypt. Their very name confirm that the Copts belong to this part of the world. Christianity and Islam, the viewers, have coexisted in the same families for years. Through this coexistence, both Copts and Muslims discovered that there was extensive common ground between both of them. Muslims and Christians in Egypt have been able to create a unique state of coexistence in which they practice diversity in unity, although they are religiously different. They never disagree on the love of the homeland and the concern for its unity and cohesion, rejecting anything that could disturb its cohesion or upset its mood. And in this context, dear viewers, we are honored to host our distinguished guest, Father Mousa, to tell us more about this special unity today, Father, and it's a pleasure to have you with us in today's episode of Nile Cruise.
Thank you, it's my pleasure, thank you.
Sir, coexistence is part of Egyptian life, and Christmas sees the two religions and the two religious communities come together out of respect and compassion. Your motto, sir?
Okay, actually this is what is characterized in Egypt since the pharaohs, since we know that Akhenaten was the first pharaoh who bring monotheism to Egypt. And so this coexistence between different religions or belief systems is characterized in Egypt. But again, here and now, for Muslims and Christians, this is what we call the core values, because every religion, mainly every religion system, is based on core values and some dogmas or dogmatic beliefs. These both together form a religion. So as for Christians and Muslims, we share the same core values. It's about love, justice, faith, compassion, patience. This is the core values. And these core values are covered or enveloped in some dogmatic systems. But at all means, we have the same core values. So in every occasion, like Christmas or any feasts, either Christian or Muslim feast, we see these core values up again to the surface. So we see the core love, the core patience, the core compassion, and respect to each other, because this is mutual and common.
President Fattah al-Sisi is very keen to attend the Christmas celebration every year. How do you view this, sir?
Actually, this is very fascinating because this is what should happen. Because again, we are, as Egyptians, we are religious people, either Christian or Muslims. So we love our country and we love to celebrate our religious feasts. So when the president consider for what is called the minority in the country, and he share with them their feasts, which is very important to them. This is
You're the strong minority, sir. We're not minority at all.
Yeah, I mean by the world's definition. Yeah,
no.
Yeah. So this is very considering, and this is very powerful message to the Christians and to the whole world, that there is, as you said, there is no minority. We are just equal. Whatever the numbers is, we are equal in all aspects and in all rights. So this is pictured expressively in the visit of the president.
It's we are equal, we complement each other, we love each other, so we have all the potentials that make us perfect.
Yes,
of
course.
Remember the first year that President Fattah al-Sisi took the oath and he came into your cathedral, which was here at that time, and he attended the Christmas celebration. It was a surprise. How did you feel that day, sir?
Actually, this was surprising, very surprising. It's of course a good surprise. I feel proud. I feel that my president gave me my rights. So, and I feel this equality is very expressed. So I was very proud and happy.
Perfect, sir. Why do we celebrate Christmas, and what is its origin?
Okay, from its name, Christmas is divided into or composed of two parts: Christ and Mass. Christ is the Christ, of course, and Mass in many languages mean birth or give birth to. Even in Coptic, give birth to means Misi. So Christmas means the birth of Christ. This is regarding the name which explain the content of it. We celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ in Bethlehem more than 2,000 years ago, and the core value or the core meaning of the celebration is the reconciliation. We made it like that, reconciliation between heaven and earth, and can be pictured in the angels which appears in the heaven proclaiming his birth. So it's a reconciliation between heaven and earth, and between man and the other man, because you may know that Jews has enmity with all other nations. They considered they called them Gentiles, all other nations, or Greek, and there is a very bad attitudes towards them. So again, by the birth of Christ, this reconciliation happens. So, for example, St. Paul in the New Testament said, there is no free or servant, no male or female, no Jews or Greek, but all are one. So this reconciliation between man and his brother in humanity, and finally reconciliation between man and himself from inside, because all these bad behaviors and that was rushing the world make the man separated from himself. That is his. So by the birth of Christ, reconciliation happened again at the inside part. So between heaven and earth, between man and his brother, and within the man himself. So it's a celebration of reconciliation. Its date mainly started to be celebrated in Rome in the early 3rd or early 4th century, then transferred to the other Christian world and was celebrated in Egypt at around the year 400.
Sir, Santa Claus may be a Western belief, but children all over the world know the legend. Why and when did people start believing in Santa Claus, and how could this amazing legend make every different child and adult love so much and wait every year to witness this person or this legend or this character anywhere?
Okay. As you may know, every legend, it may have an origin or a source. So its source is as a real person who is called Saint Nicholas. This was present in the modern day Turkey, which is called Asia Minor, in the 4th century, and he was very characterized by his generosity and kindness. So after his death, people starting in his memory in the 6th of December giving gifts to children, considering him the patron of children. So this habit continue in the Europe in the Middle Ages, and finally when some families from Germany and from Netherlands migrates to the USA in the 18th century, they bring this habit with them to give gifts to children in the memory of Saint Nicholas. Then some poets and writers take this habit and make this legendary character of Santa Claus with the red coat and the fat body and so on, and the date moved from the 6th of December to the time of Christmas 25. So this is the historical background about it. But its meaning, or why people continue to have this legend, I think it's the kind of, the idea of giving. Because giving as it's written, giving make man more happy than having. When I give, I will be more happy. Then I have everything. So this idea of giving is characterized in Santa Claus. So people continue to celebrate in this way.
Why don't we try to, or is it possible to turn this legend, which is Santa Claus, into a reality and be a character that goes all around the world globally and actually exists?
Actually, we try to do this with our families and even with our communities and the church, that we give gifts to our children, and then we told or teach them that they should do the same. So, for example, we will go to an orphanage in the 25th, and we told our children in the church that every one of you should bring a small toy with him from his toys, that he didn't use it again, but should be in a perfect case. Yeah. So you should bring them with you. So as you will have a toy, you will give another toy to a one who may be deprived of this. So from KG or pre-K, we teach them that giving is better than having. So we try to make the same idea in our way.
Perfect. In 2018, a church in Heliopolis performed a prayer for Muslims to bear fasting during the hot weather in Ramadan. Would you tell us more about this and give us more examples about the coexistence between Muslims and Copts?
Actually, this is a very good example, and actually it's existing a lot. Because if the Bible calls us to love our enemies, so how about our brothers and sisters and neighbors? So this is very normal. When I see someone from my friend or colleagues in my factory previously, for example, very tired from the hot weather, of course I want to help him as much as I can. So how can I help him except by prayers? So this is very normal, I think. And we always pray for our neighbors in everyday mass or in everyday liturgy. We pray for our neighbors and all the people that they may have peace and they live a calm life. And we have many examples like this from my friends, and even when I became a priest, many people even in the street or even in the shops or in the anyway, they call me by the word which I called in the church. They called me Abuna. They are Muslims, but they give me this title. Some of them called me El Sheikh, but it's fine for me. Bardo, this is good. Okay, he gave me the title which is dearest for him, and I accept this. But many Muslims give me the title Abuna, and I say yes, this is Egypt. They called me Abuna, which means our father, and this is the spirit which is actually present in the street.
With reference to Mary's recurrent apparition in Egypt over the course of many years, do you believe that this matter might indicate a certain special bond between Egypt and Mary?
Yes, of course, because Egypt is the only country visited by Saint Mary outside of Palestine, so it has a very special position in the heart of Saint Mary. It's the only country visited by her, and not just one place, it's many places from Sinai until Asyut. So it's very dear to the heart of Saint Mary, of course. Moreover, I think Egyptians have similar traits with Saint Mary. This is simple people, patient, kind, and of deep faith at the same time. They are simple, but are of deep faith and patience. So also because of the traits and the characters of Egyptian people, which is very close to Saint Mary, so I think yes, there is a strong bond.
Pope Tawadros II of Alexandria said that the great apparition of Virgin Mary in 1968 was a message of love from God to Egyptians. Would you tell us more about this and several miracles that accompanied Mary's apparition?
Yes. Actually, the apparition of 1968, in my opinion, is considered the biggest or the largest apparition of Saint Mary in the modern era all over the world, because it remains for more than 2 years, from 68 until 70, and was attested by 10,000s of peoples, Muslims, Christians, journalists, and foreigners, and it's very well documented. Either by video or pictures or even by journals. So it was, of course, a message of love, especially after the war of 1967. And one story, for example, of one of the miracles, one American author wrote a book called Before Our Eyes. It's narrated the narrations during the year 1968 and 69. And she mentions that there is a group of Switzerland people of 13 persons was present during this apparition, and one of which was a very elder woman, which around 90 years, and she was paralyzed for around 20 years. And when she saw the apparition of Saint Mary, she woke again. So this is an American a testament for a Switzerland, for a miracle for Switzerland woman. So it's a foreign testament.
Amazing. Egyptians carry very special feelings for Virgin Mary, and they have like a deep belief in her. And this is something that is mutual between, of course, Muslims and Christians. And these Muslims feel this towards Virgin Mary as much as the Christians do. Would you tell us more about this?
Yes, as I said before, any religion is consisting of core beliefs beside the dogmatic system. So Virgin Mary expresses all core beliefs of Muslims and the Christians. This is from one side. From the other side, on the dogmatic aspect, Saint Mary is mentioned in Quran and has surah with his name. So Saint Mary here share in the core beliefs and at the same time in the dogmatic system. So it's very dear to the heart of every Muslim and Christian.
Perfect, sir. Muslims sometimes are seen lighting candles in churches, or they ask their Christian friends to light a candle for health on their behalf, with the belief that if a friend or a father or anyone does this for a Muslim, all their dreams or their beliefs or all they desire come true. How do you read this and your motto on this, sir?
I may read this as a perfect understanding from all, because when one understands that everyone with a pure heart, when he call God for anything, he may hear them. This is the real understanding, because God actually need pure hearts, kind hearts, loving hearts. So as we all understand that, so when I see someone with a pure heart, or I consider him like that, and asking him or her to pray for me, this is a very deep understanding. So this is again the perfect understanding, cooperation and love between Muslims and Christians.
It's really touching, sir.
Thank you.
And now I take a promise from you to light a candle for me and pray for me and my 3 daughters.
It's my honor.
Sir, it's my utmost honor. And finally, sir, as government bodies are to transfer to the new administrative capital, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi was very keen to establish a new cathedral in the new administrative capital. What was the message that all Christians in Egypt received after the president established this amazing, wonderful cathedral, which I was there and I witnessed in person?
I think it's about a very powerful message, not to Egyptian Christians only, but to the whole world, because it deepens our concept that we are, even Muslims or Christians, we are religious people in a civil country. So, and this should walk together, because we are not civil alone and we're not religious alone, because all this may make some problems. But we are religious people, Christians and Muslims, in a civil country. So from one side, this give this aspect. From the second side, it gives the aspect of equality. Again, the first projects in the new capital is the new cathedral and the mosque.
Yes.
So again, it's equality and our identity as religious people in a civil country.
Father, your final words is deepening and strengthening the unity between and equality between Muslims and Christians in Egypt. And of course, we as all Egyptian citizens work so hard and very hard on this concept, because no one can interrupt the relation between Egyptians and Egyptian citizens, because this is Egyptians everywhere all around the world. And of course, this is under the auspices of President Fattah al-Sisi. With this final note, sir, we wrap up this very, from my own perspective, spiritual interview, which has a lot of meanings, in deep meanings, sir, on very special days, celebrating Merry Christmas and New Year. Thank you very, very much, Father, for being with us and for your time and for this wonderful interview.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Dear viewers, stay tuned. We'll be back again.